So I'm getting close to wrapping up this series here, and wanted to give you all like a little behind the scenes update on the comic book series here, my Realm Ethereal, The Dream Awakens. As you can see here, the latest chapter just went up, and I apologize that it has taken, it's taken a long time. So between this episode, or this page, I should say, which on my website I call it an episode or a chapter, if you will. But for the most part, these are just the pages. So here's the latest chapter. It's most technically page 22 of the comic book, the fourth issue, and it's finally up here. So just wanted to give you a little, like, even behind the scenes, because I just want to talk about, like, being an independent creator, and it's like essentially taken me like 4 years to get out 4 issues, and while that kind of sucks, this isn't my full-time endeavor, but I definitely, if I go switch here to the book layout and InDesign, here's the latest page, and you can see the pages here that I'm assembling. This is the book. It's really being put together here. No doubt. I've done the first 3 issues, right? So this is the 4th and final issue of this particular story arc within the Realm Material series, The Dream Awakens, which is that first story arc. But when it's taken me this amount of time to write this story, and now I'm going to show you my Google Doc here. You can see, like, definitely I have been crafting this as I have been, working on the artwork and plotting it all the way through. So, this is just, just thumbing through the 4th issue here, the script. There's a lot that can happen in 4 years that, that goes without saying, and, things change. It's kind of like some friends of ours, they were building a house before COVID, and once COVID hit and there were delays in work and the production and the supply chain, what they started out with when they began the design project, and ultimately what happened when they completed it 2 or 3 years later, it was like, I wouldn't say totally different, but things change. And so it's very similar to what I'm doing here with my Realm Ethereal comic book. It's taken me this amount of time to get to this point, but I'm excited to get to wrap up this first issue, and I just I'm gonna show some artwork here that I have on the table, like literally on the table, to show you some other things happening with the artwork. So here's artwork, and kind of some older artwork here. And kind of the point of this video, aside from also talking about, giving an update on my comic book series, is kind of like why, as an independent artist, regardless of like, what your pursuit is, specifically for comics, like, you should always be doing your own thing on the side. And I've always done that. And I made a couple of videos talking about me, sending my submissions to like the Marvels and the DCs and whatnot. But throughout it all, I always really focused on doing a lot of my own stuff. So you can never start too late, and you actually should start a lot sooner and start building these worlds. So here's like some old artwork here. These are some character sketches for Azrith Lion Warrior, which was a comic book that I actually did put together back in like probably over 10 years ago. Like, this sketch here is dated February 27th, 2012. And here you have these kind of like half human, half animal characters, like a bird, eagle character, or a hawk or something, and like a cat. And excuse me, these drawings ultimately did lead to me, making a comic book series based on that. And as I step away from the camera here, I'm going to see if I can find that comic book. I'm off camera here, digging through some comics here in my room, and I hope to pull it out and see if I can show that. Yeah, actually, here it is. Bear with me. So here's that character, Azrith Lion Warrior, and I actually did end up making a full-on, like, slim paperback
graphic novel kind of thing. So, you know, these characters here, that Saber character, there he is. Okay, you can see them there. The bird character, I don't think the bird character actually appears until, this was a webcomic series I did years ago, like over 10 years ago. But, you know, it just, you know, kind of, I didn't follow it through. But this universe was created, and technically speaking, Azreath is like technically the first kind of character that I brought into my realm ethereal, because although I did create a ton of other characters in my realm ethereal universe, right? You know, all these characters, Azreath Lion Warrior technically was the first character because I brought him into the realm ethereal. You know, he eventually became an ethereal guard, but the character far predated any of these other characters in my realm ethereal universe, right? In his own series back then. I just happened, because I created the character on my own, I brought him into the fold of my realm ethereal universe. And so, of course, my realm ethereal universe is now, you know, it's grown to its own series. So here are like the print editions, right, of the first 3 issues. Okay, free to read on my website, of course. I just want people to check it out. And again, the character, I brought him into the fold. These characters are part of that universe that I started developing over 10 years ago. And there are like other characters as well. There's this Axe the Slayer character that, again, I also created a comic book series on. But there's all this artwork that I have. Here's a character that is kind of related to the one character who is, let me find him back in the book here. I'm so involved with doing the comic that I need to remember who my stable of characters are. He's like the one Mediterran that's actually a man, King Baldor. So you can see the character here, okay? And then you kind of see the hammer, which is kind of key. Here's that same little dragon. But again, the sketch here, here's Azreath Lion Warrior again, fighting a giant like gorilla ape creature. Again, this universe, this was 2017. And you know, here's another character that I did in 2014 that is a Mediterran. Eventually I took that painting, that drawing, and turned it into Eliana. Okay, right here, as you can see, that became a full color digital painting, creating these worlds. And similarly, you know, more sketches here, just, you know, a drawing that would become characters that at the time was a cool drawing, but I didn't know that I would eventually paint these because I was working on these characters. And I'm like, you know, I think I've got something for these characters. So as an artist who does art first and then has to craft his plots and his stories afterward, I can't just sit there and just say, I'm gonna write a plot out and then come up with a storyline. And that's the fact for me. Okay, so in some respects, yeah, I am kind of building this ship as I'm flying it, as my wife likes to say. But you know, these sketches, again, I'm building my own characters, building my own worlds, and kind of filling my stable with characters that I can eventually utilize. And sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. It's taken a few years to get there. Like here's an old sketch, little ink drawing that I'm finding here of these like dragon warriors here. You know, back in the time I was really into dragons, it's 2015. These characters might make it into my universe. You know, here's a character that was part of a series called Wing, comic book artwork. This was 2014 there, okay? And this character is kind of like, well, basically she is going to become the one we've already seen in the comic book series, that green metallic woman with the red hair. So, and here are more shots, but this again was from a comic book series, 2017, that was something totally different at the time when I was conceiving it. And then there's more artwork that you're actually going to be seeing toward the end of the 4th issue, but that will bleed into or go into, I think, the second story arc, which is the Realm Ethereal, the Sky Dreamers. So this is kind of behind the scenes look at artwork that already exists. This is 2018, that I am going to be, fashioning and crafting back into my Real Material series. Now that my Real Material series has some momentum behind it, some steam behind it. So there is a crap ton of artwork here that, while the narrative at the time was something totally different, I'm gonna shape it into my Real Material universe. I'm gonna take these panels, and in fact, I already have used this at the very beginning of the comic book series. That's why I want to encourage people to, like, even if you don't know what you want to do, you kind of need to start building it now, because at the time that you want to start promoting this, I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to have been promoting this like a year before it's come out. And so you might as well start now. So like this artwork here had a totally different application. I think at the time I was trying to make like a comic strip type format. I don't know why, but I forget why. But this artwork is in here now. And at one point it was going to be on webtoons and it'd be like a scrolling comic, so that you could, scroll it on your phone. So I drew all of this as a one long big column, and I've mentioned this before, I hate doing that. That sucks. That's just not me. I'm not going to read a comic on a phone. Let's be realistic. That's just me though. So I reformatted it to flow into print, because I love print. And that's it, bottom line. I think the stories are better for me to read that way. Flipping a page, you can set pacing. By flipping a page, you can create something that's happening or building up over several panels, and then like, boom, you reveal something. Okay, I like that. That's what the printed page, I think, holds for me, the essence of pacing. But again, this artwork here, I utilize that. You can see it here. Here it is, right here. I just, thankfully working digitally at the time in Procreate, I was able to just slap dash all this stuff together and just kind of like stitch it all together, which I could still do. It doesn't matter. This is all like hard copies, right? Original, traditional artwork on paper. But thanks to digital means, I can now slap all this together. But the idea is, this is 2017, it's 2024 now, and I'm looking at all this artwork, and here are some more key characters that we're going to be seeing. See, here are those floating cities that had existed previously. This is 2017. I'm going to go back to this character, Kasia, in this dream sequence. You can see those worlds here, those cities, those floating cities. So they are an element that I first came up with when I was trying to craft this storyline. And so that means that this character is now going to be brought into my Real Material universe. And again, here's more stuff here. Like here's King Baldor. Again, the character that he plays a pivotal role. Again, he became a painting eventually in my as I was building out my characters. I'll show him one more time here, because I don't know, I kind of like him. I can't wait to get to tell his story, but weave him in there. So King Baldor, there he is. And again, the floating cities back here on stones. And a character here that is going to play a role as well. Like I said, there's a ton of artwork here that I'm going to essentially repurpose, but bring into my Real Material universe. That's going to have its own advantage of giving me a leg up with artwork production, to be honest. I just need to format this so that it's not wide. If you notice, this is pretty much like for a landscape comic, and I forget why I did that. I think I was influenced by something I saw and thought, wow, that would be really cool. And even my original comics here are like a wonky size. They're not standard comic book size. So fortunately or unfortunately, the 4th issue is going to be standard. I know it's standard comic book, American comic book size, which I know is going to throw things off here, but hey, I'm indie. Go big or go home. Make the changes as you see fit. That's what I say. So yeah, ton of artwork here. There's some fan art. Adam Strange. I can't use that. That's not my IP. But again, see, there's a bunch of artwork here that hasn't been inked. Even there's some old pencil artwork here. There's the dragon here. So a lot of you here are seeing some really preview stuff here. But again, it's artwork that I created way back when, and creating a story, working on my craft, obviously, but then at the same time, like eventually getting to a point, and here's something new. This is new artwork here that now has a home and has a storyline and has a purpose to integrate all this artwork here that I've been holding on to and been creating. So that's the cool thing I think about being indie, is keeping your ideas and working on them. I mean, it's multiple aspects of working on my craft, wanting to produce samples, although now I don't even think of this as samples. This is like what I'm excited to create and put out there into the world, and for people to discover and check out, or leave it behind and move on. So that's my spiel for today in this video. Just start creating your characters, start creating your worlds. Don't worry that if it's going to work or not, because you never know what is going to work. That is the fact. You never know what's going to hit. You may do something that you think is like the most awesome thing, and then somehow it ends up turning into something else. Like when I did all these paintings, this artwork, I wanted to be a digital painter. And I realized, well, what does that mean in like a commercial sense? And, right away it leads you into game art and doing all that stuff. And like, here's the thing. I don't play video games. I haven't in years. And even when I did, I wasn't a hardcore video game player. And I don't watch gamers do their thing, but I do read comic books. I do follow comic books. I enjoy the craft of drawing and inking and, collecting and reading old comic books. And that's where I come from. And I don't think it's antiquated or anything like that. And yeah, I'm 50 years old, but I'm excited to do this work. I'm keeping up on at least my craft, I think, and at least trying to be ultimately what is the main thing, which is, irrespective of whatever it is you do, it's storytelling and trying to tell stories visually with some narrative, of course, with being able to add exposition with text and whatnot and things like that. But that's what I'm about. And if you want to start creating your own comics, start making your worlds now. Start building your stable of characters, because you never know what those characters or where they may end up. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Comments are cool. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. And have a good one. Catch you next time.